Okay, so this video, there might not be some people that agree with it, and it might get me a little bit of hate, but please do not be an internet troll and please listen to everything that I have to say until the end of the video. And then you could, if you disagree with me, that's fine. If you have something to say it, but please be respectful in the comments. Nonetheless, in today's video, I'm going to talk about something that I love, which is food, particularly my relationship and how it has grown and developed my relationship to Spanish food. So, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a subscriber, thanks for being here. Welcome back. My name is Kirsten, and these are my weekly videos where I talk about everyday stories and cultural insights on my life living in Spain as someone who moved from California to Spain almost 7 years ago. I also like to talk about the financial side of moving and living abroad as I'm a personal finance writer. And I also just like to talk about my journey freelancing abroad, being a freelance writer, and talking about the different aspects of my work. So if any of those things interest you, then make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if this video is interesting to you. So, as I mentioned before, I'm going to talk about Spanish food because Spanish food in general is something that I love talking about. I love eating in general. I'm a big snacker. So, obviously, and to me as well, food is very much a part of culture. It is a big aspect of culture. And I want to talk a little bit more about how my my expectations and how my interests have changed throughout my time living in Spain, particularly when it comes to food. So, one time, in my second year living in Spain, I remember I was standing outside of a bar with some other friends that I had met, some other people who were foreigners as well and had moved, immigrants who had also moved to Spain. And, we're talking about our experiences, we're talking about, what we like about Spain and things like that. And we got to the topic of food. And someone asked me, like, oh, do you like the food or what do you think of the food? And I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Like I'm still trying different things, but overall I like it. And I remember this person saying to me, he's like, yeah, I like it too, but it could use like a little bit of paprika. It could use a little bit of a little bit more seasoning. And I completely agreed. And the reason why I agreed is because culturally, in Black American culture, African American culture, we are almost religious when it comes to seasoning our food. Now, I will admit that sometimes we can go overboard with it, and sometimes I even go overboard with it when it comes to seasoning our food because we never really follow measurements. We kind of just like add on as much seasoning as we feel we should. We kind of listen to that voice, the ancestors telling us, like, okay, that's enough, or a little bit more. But it's kind of, if you ask any, Black American a recipe for something, you will never, almost never get like exact measurements for how much garlic or how much garlic powder or how much pepper or how much salt. You just kind of throw in what you feel is right. And so coming to Spain, I was used to heavily spiced food. And I heard one time, and I'm not sure if someone wants to correct me on this. I also heard that, like, historically, when African Americans were enslaved in the United States and they were given like the leftover scraps, and they were given, the leftovers, things that weren't like high quality food. It was the seasonings that kind of helped to bring out the flavors and to make the food more enjoyable. I'm not sure if that's accurate. If someone is a historian and wants to, give me more insight on that, I would greatly appreciate that. But nonetheless, I come from a culture where we highly season our food, and I'm also a fan of spice blends, like blends of different spices as well. So yeah, so that's what my palate was accustomed to before coming to Spain. And when I came to Spain, a lot of the cuisine does not rely heavily on spices, and I'm explain why. And so when I but that's kind of but I say that so that you can understand kind of my cultural shock when I came to Spain, and I was just kind of like, this is good, but it's missing something. But about a year ago, I went on a tour with Devour Tours, and we did a food tour, and we had some amazing food. And I learned kind of what is the key or the secret or the magic behind Spanish cuisine. And there's two elements. And obviously, there's more to Spanish cuisine than what I'm about to say, but this is what I learned. That one, it is using high quality ingredients, and two, using certain spices or certain other ingredients to enhance the flavors of the main dish. So using things like high quality olive oil, which I'll probably do another entire video on olive oil since I live in the part of Spain which is the highest producer of olive oil in all of Europe and I think the world. But using high quality olive oil, using high quality paprika or high quality or garlic. There's a lot of great dishes that use a lot like use olive like a lot of dishes are cooked in olive oil and high quality olive oil and garlic to bring out this really juicy garlicky flavor in certain dishes. So after kind of learning that, I was just like, oh, I get it. Um, and then I like think back, and then it kind of clicked because a lot of my favorite dishes, like gambas al ajillo or pollo al ajillo, are these dishes cooked in high quality or are high quality ingredients, high quality meat, and cooked in really rich garlic and really rich olive oil. And I usually add like a little bit of salt, and I'm good. Or sometimes I don't even add salt that much, depending on the dish. And so yeah. So also the kind of fun an interesting part about eating, especially in my city and where I live in Andalusia, and I didn't really appreciate this at first, but now I do more, is that a lot of the times you're going to go to different restaurants and you're going to have, depending on the region that you're in, but you're going to have your staple dishes. You're going to see a lot of repeat dishes. And that was different for me because I'm used to California where you literally can get like a Thai restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, a burger place, an Italian place, like all the same block. So I'm used to like with any given week, I'm eating, three or four different cuisines. And here where I live, particularly, you can go to most restaurants and they're going to have like a lot of staple dishes. And I kind of honestly, I was a little bored of that in the beginning. But then I started to realize that all these dishes, even though on paper they're the same, depending on the quality, depending on the ingredients, they will taste very different. So now going out to eat is kind of, I have my spots where I know, where I can get my macarones de limon, where I can get like my batatas bravas or a tortilla. Like I kind of know which restaurants have like the best principal dish. Um, and so yeah, so it kind of goes back into, not all restaurants are created equal. Some will kind of give you whatever they have and think that, and just hopefully you're happy with that. And some restaurants really pride themselves on what I think is a very crucial part of Spanish cuisine is that high quality. Um, so if you try a dish in a Spanish restaurant and you don't like it, maybe try that same dish again in another restaurant because it could just be the quality of the food or the quality of the ingredients. So yeah, I hope you kept your promise to me and stayed to the end of the video, and hopefully my comments didn't ruffle your feathers too much. Of course, if you have different opinions or different insights, you can respectfully share them in the comments. And this video is not a critique at all. Obviously, I am sharing my love for Spanish food, but I'm also being honest in what the process was like for me to get to a place where I fully appreciate Spanish cuisine. So, if you want to hear more about me talking about the Spanish cuisine, and the plates that I like, the foods that I like, what I'm learning about the cuisine, and the culture behind the food that I'm eating, then make sure you give me a follow and you can leave a comment and let me know what food questions you have, or yeah, what food questions you have, particularly about Spanish cuisine.